Hello everyone, welcome to the Game Day 1, the show, the girls preview show for Class AA. Probably one of the more intriguing, I guess the most intriguing tournament entering into the postseason in Section 1. And the reason being is because it is completely loaded at the top. I mean, when you look at this bracket, you see Albertus Magnus, you see Ursuline, you see Harrison. You see a very good potential Final Four. And I think we would all agree that we have a very, very clear favorite in Albertus Magnus, who is right now pretty much proven to be the best team in Section 1. But again, kind of thought they were last year going into the Class AA championship game, which they obviously lost to White Plains. The rest was history. White Plains goes on to the state final. They lose, but an incredible playoff run for the Falcons and a team that's out for redemption. Let's take a look now at the bracket for this tournament. And obviously you see Albertus Magnus are 16-4. They're undefeated in Section 1. They ended the regular season with a win over that RC Ketchum team, who is the favorite in Class AAA this year. They'll take on Clarkstown North in the opening round. After North, their Rockland County rival, went on the road and beat Peekskill in the out bracket on Wednesday night. Other matchups, Suffern and Scarsdale, Pelham, Horace Greeley, Brewster and Somers in the 12-5 matchup. We'll talk about that game in just a moment. The other games, Yorktown and Mayapack, a couple crosstown rivals. Harrison going to take on Poughkeepsie after their out-bracket win. Clarkstown South hosting Gorton. Nice squad, nice story there. And then Ursuline with their, just up Mill Road, go across, take on Eastchester. Well, Eastchester's will be coming to them over at Ursuline. And all four of these games, you can watch on Local Live. So let's just start with the breakdown of this tournament. And what you see when you look at this, and you really, it's a three-team race, right? I mean, you have to say, you would be absolutely stunned if anybody other than Albertus Magnus, Ursuline, or Harrison were going to be hosting the Gold Bowl. Albertus Magnus, start with them. I mean, this team, this roster, they have the chance. They got to win hardware first to start, kind of putting themselves in this conversation. This is maybe one of the best Section 1 basketball teams of the last 5 years. I mean, you go back to the Ursuline team with Sony Citron that went on and they won that COVID season, and they got robbed the next year when COVID basically wiped out their entire year. This team is up there. I mean, they're that good. I mean, when you look at this group, the seniors in this team first, Ali Folesto, Sophia Malpelli, Kayla McGinnis. I mean, these are girls that have been sort of building for this. They have been, they have been preparing. They've been making a run. I mean, they thought this was going to be maybe their second championship, they could win. And, you look at this and you feel like it's kind of very much in their hands, and it's going to be a matter of who comes out on the other side, whether it's going to be Ursuline or it's going to be Harrison. They faced twice the regular season. Ursuline won both matchups. Harrison had a chance to win the second game, which was at Harrison. This Ursuline group, they're primed to make a run and challenge this Albertus Magnus team. Sophie Nascimento is as tough as nails as any player you'll find in Section 1 this year. And Keneally is a talented player. Katie Croker. They have the trio to match up with this Albertus Magnus. They got more than a trio. They have a couple trios in this team that are just extremely talented players. And then Harrison has their trio of their own, right? They have Stella Perini, Olivia Fernandez, Mia Straza, 1,000-point scorer. And, you can't help but look at this bracket and think, man, if there was no Catholic school teams in this, Harrison, you'd be talking about Harrison being a Gold Ball favorite after coming up short the last couple seasons. So when you look at the bracket, let's just go first with our best games. So I'm looking at this, and I like the best first round game. I think it's got to be Somers Brewster because they played in the regular season, 12-5 matchup. They split the regular season matchup. Somers won the second game, so they have more than enough potential to Somers to go on the road and beat this Brewster team. Other good game is Suffern and Scarsdale. Suffern going to be the home team. Scarsdale going to be the home team. Suffern won the regular season matchup against the Raiders. So nothing would really surprise me in this game. I do think Scarsdale has played well late. The way that they beat Maria Regina, they knocked off North Rockland the way they did. North Rockland, they beat them 55-29. I mean, that's a convincing victory late in the regular season before Scarsdale lost in the second time around against Ursuline in their regular season finale. So Scarsdale going into the postseason with a little bit of confidence. We'll give Albertus Magnus a win. I'm going to go Scarsdale. I think, as I said, I think Scarsdale moves on to the quarterfinals. They beat Suffern. They seem to be kind of turning things around. I think Mike Blanco has done a great job with this group, kind of building for this. And The other matchup there, Horace Greeley and Pelham. This is a tough matchup for Pelham from a basketball X's and O standpoint because of Greeley's size and what they do offensively. I think Pelham wins. I think Pelham has been a team that came into this season. Coach Tim Petrulli, they thought they were going to be good. They thought they were going to challenge, and I think they've far exceeded their expectations. They were a team that was, I think they were 12-3 at one point. So they were just kind of rolling along, and they finished strong. Beat Edgemont, beat East Chester in the final week. Lose to Walter Panis 59-50, but they play with Walter Panis, defending state champions in Class A. So I think Pelham is primed to move on. And then give me Somers. Give me Somers on the road. I think, Somers going on the road. There's got to be an upset somewhere in this bracket. I think it's going to be Somers. Our other games, Mahopac was knocked off Yorktown. Yorktown's just such a young and up-and-coming team under Christy Denny. Mahopac a little bit more established, good size. They're going to be too much for Yorktown on the boards. Harrison moves on, beats Poughkeepsie. Clarkstown South going to knock off Gorton. Again, Gorton 13-win season out of Yonkers, making it to the postseason. It's a nice story. Clarkstown South, though, they're a team that Clarkstown South's a team that, when they were at their peak, when they played up to their capabilities, they were a very talented team. Ursuline moves on, and they move on to beat East Chester. Give me Ursuline in the moving on to the semifinal. Harrison moving on to the semifinal. There's no surprise in either of those. Those teams are going to the county center, and then back to the top of the bracket. Albertus Magnus moves on. And I'm going to go chalk here. Pelham is going to be the 4th team. They're going to be the ones that get to go take on Albertus Magnus in the semifinals at the county center. Albertus Magnus is going to the championship. I like them going on to take Ursuline in the all-Catholic championship. And then you can give me, as we see our final 4 bracket here, Albertus Magnus, Ursuline. Last year was a weird circumstance of games, right? So they faced this White Plains team that came in with a ton of confidence, huge underdog. Pat Buckley, the head coach of Albertus Magnus, he lost his voice at when he was hosting the day before a CYO tournament in his church over in Rockland County. Lost his voice from the whole day of running all the games. That complicated things, and I'm not going to say that's why they lost the game, but that's just a weird scenario, and I think it obviously hurt his team. It's County Center got loud. White Plains, it was County Center's in White Plains, and huge crowd for White Plains comes. Albertus Magnus loses, and looking back, they're a better team because of it now, and I think Michaela Beasley and Julia Scott. I didn't even mention Julia Scott yet. Julia Scott might be. You could put her up there as maybe the best player in Section 1 this season. She is only a sophomore, 6'3", and you think 6'3" at the high school level on the girls' side, obviously a post player. No, she could score from anywhere on the floor. She has developed her game. She's become a major Division I player. And if you're going to go to the county center to watch anybody this week, go to watch Julia Scott. She's just so fun to watch. And this Albertus team, they will hoist the gold ball. I think it's their championship. It's their tournament to lose at this point. I think when you go into this, obviously, Ursuline's going to go to challenge them. I can see them playing them close, but I do not see them winning. So I think Albertus Magnus wins the gold ball. And as we said, it's Julia Scott. She will be the MVP. Albertus Magnus is your champion. I just want to thank you for watching Game Day 1, the show, our Class AA Girls Preview. See you in the postseason, County Center, Championship Week. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon.